And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner as the red Terran. We have Dayshi from France.
And in the bottom right, we have the first place Russian player, Brad OK.
Not normally on OMG.
Looks like we're on Whirlwind, so the extension of this map, a bit of a long range between the two players.
Absolutely. We could
both to the bottom here, but maybe some air war we might see, maybe some Banshee play.
Definitely see some Banshee play, some drops in these positions, but potentially quite a long game we're going to have here.
That's right, folks. Get cozy, grab your favorite beverage, maybe a snack, because Terran versus Terran usually takes a little while. But with the evolution we've seen with you know, the WCS and StarCraft and how many Korean players have just been dominating the scene, this is a chance for a lot of the international scene to really get some exposure, not to the crowd watching, but to each other, and what they bring to the table from their region, from their almost gamer culture of what the type of meta they're playing.
Absolutely.
Moonglade, you're down in Australia. You guys practice, you play. You're actually closer to Korea compared to the States. But what have you seen overall that you maybe don't see as much in Australia? Any types of builds or strategies these players have been bringing?
Oh, so far, well, I think I've noticed more than anything else, like every region, they do have their own sort of meta game going on, especially between certain players. They just know each other so well that they do kind of weird stuff compared to what other players would do against each other. But yeah, like for instance in Australia, we're very Zerg heavy, so the meta game for Zerg versus Zerg it can get pretty crazy down there, and I see that when I play against European players, they play very different. They have their own ideas, and it's kind of like that in every sort of server. They all bring their own sort of flavor.
I can see why you guys use Zerg the most, because your nation is full of dangerous creatures.
That's right. We take after the wildlife. You know, we know it best. We know how these things work.
Yeah. And, well, some scouting going on from both these teams, both these players here, SCVs. Cruising around, but looks like none have found each other yet. SCVs might see each other in the center of the map, but now
we see variations in the build order. We see a CC first from Brad OK, and we're going for a gas tech into a fast factory from Dayshi. So Dayshi gonna want to put on the pressure early. Gonna do some timings with perhaps some Hellions or some drops. I have to wait and see what he goes for.
Dayshi's gonna see that command center along with the two barracks to the front.
Absolutely.
Marines are already out for Dayshi, so any kind of scouting with the SCV already got destroyed here. But one Marine's almost complete from Brad OK. And a bunker's gonna go down from Brad OK. That forward position bunker's gonna allow for that defensive play in case Dayshi goes for a little more of the aggression because of the command center being built first.
Absolutely.
It has to be very crucial.
I'm sure he'll be very aware of it. And it looks like a star point going down, so I think we're going to see some Banshee harassment at the very least.
Yeah, I love the Banshee, not just because of the voice actress, which she's fun to listen to, but the type of play that it brings to keep your opponent on edge, to keep them on their toes. And unfortunately, sometimes players such as myself will overcommit to the Banshee play, and I won't follow up with better macro, and in the end I'll actually lose because I have so much fun piloting the Banshee around and killing so many SCVs.
Oh, it has so much potential for so much damage. Like, it is such a good harassment tool against workers especially, and against the command center first. There isn't going to be that many Marines or much sort of detection unless Brad OK really reads into it or it just has a good assumption on it.
Dayshi for the 1-1-1 build here. He could counter any type of Banshee coming in with a Viking, but he's going to go for a Banshee himself along with the research of the Cloak. So a little bit of a mirror type of engagement, but another command center going out from Brad OK. So this is where the balance is going to happen here. If Dayshi's able to get some better hits with those Banshees and try to lock down a lot of kills in the SCVs, he can move to more of the macro mode if he slows down Brad OK. But again, it's a bit of a gamble because one good scan, that Banshee will go down.
Yeah, he's got to be very careful with it because that's his tool to even up this game. Like a very greedy play. Ooh, and I got a pause here, but it looks like 4 barracks going up, so it's going to be very Marine bio heavy. We'll probably add some Marauders very shortly.
Well, the Marine bio heavy play, you know, you have a couple Marines stay in your base. You have one missile turret down there. You can take down a Banshee no problem, or at least try to head them off from destroying your SCVs.
Absolutely, and the engineering bay is only kind of halfway completed at the moment, so the Banshee's going to get in there, and it's going to have Cloak and very potential for a lot of damage.
Dayshi getting that expansion, all of the barracks coming around.
That kind of gives the impression that it's going to be mech from Dayshi.
Yeah. And that Banshee's going to come in just a second here. It's going to take out a couple SCVs, but a couple Marines are now moving down to that forward position, and they see the Banshee. Enough Marines there to stop it. The Banshee's going to play that dance of death here. Takes down one SCV. He's going to move to the south. Tries to target the other SCV. Does kill it, the one that was building the missile turret. But is the cloak ready yet? He's not revealing if the cloak is ready. Could still be researched here. Now it's ready, and now the Marines are going to be on the run from Death in the Sky Banshee here. Now the Banshee's going to continue that scouting mode. He's going to see a number of barracks. He's also going to see Tech Lab. Targeting the Tech Lab. Another scan's going to go down here in a sec.
Oh, runs into a turret. But and another Banshee on the way, so more potential damage coming, but it's kind of been shut down. Oh, well, he hasn't finished that turret, which is a bit of a mistake, but I'm sure he'll have at least a scan handy with 3 command centers up.
Banshee's up to the front. Barracks just one click away from trying to target fire it with that increased range of the Marines inside the barracks. But look, a couple more Banshees coming out of Dayshi here.
Yeah, and no third CC yet for Dayshi, so he's going to be pressed to do more damage more early on. I mean, these bio is going to kind of try and lock him down. He's going to get medivac drops going. He's going to kind of just control the map as you do with sort of like bio versus mech. Mech kind of, you have to turtle for quite a lot longer. Kind of build up that death ball with a lot of tanks and whatnot.
Banshee still continuing to do some harassment here. Small ball of Marines moving in and trying to get the kill. There's the scan, and they're able to get the kill.
Good scan.
Mobility of those Marines keeping most of those SCVs alive, but Dayshi's still looking for those openings. He's also containing his opponent, containing Brad OK, staying in that base. And that Rax is just a big scout that's floating outside of it in case there's any drops coming that way.
Essentially, it's an overlord. It's an overlord just sitting there waiting to see what comes.
And now another Banshee coming in, just slowing down the production of these SCVs building these facilities here. Factory did get completed, now a reactor's being built. But here comes another small bio ball of Marauders and a couple Marines. Banshee's going to get out of there just in time as the cloak falls away.
Actually, quite a lot of work is killed right now. That's actually an impressive amount. But that third CC, a cheeky Widow Mine stopping it. That's brilliant.
As a Zerg player, I'm sure you're used to
I
hide
respect
one of
that.
those Zerglings.
I respect that, yeah.
Well, good play of the mobility here. Again, I talked about that with Heart of the Swarm, allowing the Terran to just be in different places of the map, a little bit more firepower because of the Widow Mines. Banshee's going to take a couple hits from that missile turret, but one of the Widow Mines is still in that section, moved over, or at least was in that section after the scan. And that'll be ready to take down some SCVs as soon as they cruise in there.
That's right.
That's going to be bad for them.
They have a lot of CC to layer, but it's
Yeah, it looks like it's kind of just macroing up, building the army. The Dayshis want to get quite a big ball before he sort of makes any sort of push. He has his third CC up and flying to his third base, so he'll be catching up in economy pretty quickly. And the thing about mech is it's so cost efficient compared to bio. Bio has to really whoa, what's going on there?
Oh, you got a lot of shadows happening here from the
special
graphics.
effects from
Yeah.
WCG.
Yeah. But as you were saying, more cost-effective mech compared to bio, but it's usually because bio stays alive due to the medevacs.
Yeah.
Have to continually be pumped out.
Well, yeah, and it's just like it's very positional with bio. You mean you have to flank, you have to find the time when the tanks are not sieged to really engage. It can be very it's very, the word escapes me, but it's very hard to try and kill that army.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're very sustainable.
Very sustainable army. Absolutely right.
Just like Paladins and Hearthstone. They're incredibly sustainable.
I guess so. I guess so. I'm pretty bad at that game.
Oh, yeah. Having a lot of fun. A lot of fun with that game. Blizzard knows how to make great games, man, that people like to play for a long time.
That's
and that's
true.
especially why StarCraft and Warcraft 3 is here.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The final year.
Yeah. Well, it looks like the bio ball from Brad OK is finally leaving the base. He's going to see a number of Hellions here, but they're going to skedaddle out of the way.
Alien's kind of just keeping a map presence, kind of scouting out that army, seeing what's going on. And yeah, all siege tanks at home, nice and safe. I'm sure they'll move out between the third and the natural, try and get a good position on these things, on this army.
Vikings popping out here from Dayshi to get some of that scouting range and also some aggression, some firepower. Oh, looks like we need to pause here. But let's talk about the firepower against the medevacs.
Yeah, it's a very important thing to deal with, killing those medevacs. Stops all sorts of drops, healing that bio. Bio always has to kind of hit and run against mech. Like, it'll always be like they'll engage, the tanks start sieging, they run away. And
yeah. All right, we're going to take a break here, folks, so they can fix whatever's going on with the graphical issues, but stay tuned. We're not going to go anywhere here as Dayshi and Brad OK is going to continue after this. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Apologize about that small delay.
Hotkeys was the problem.
Hotkeys. Oh, you needed those hotkeys, especially for this engagement. Too many of the mech from Dayshi.
That would have been a brutal position to try and engage into. Just too many tanks. It would have just destroyed everything.
Yeah, and then the Hellions.
That's exactly what I was talking about. Like hit and run with the bio. I mean, like if you have enough Vikings to like, kind of like one-shot medivacs in that situation, it's going to hurt the bio army so much.
Well, Dayshi kept up that aggression and delaying the tech of his opponent, the production facilities as well of his opponent. So he definitely has a great amount of mech units to stop anything Brad OK can bring. Now, if Brad OK had a bigger swarm of Marauders against these Hellions, it might be a different story here. But it's just not enough to take a lot of those down, especially the tank support. But here's some Hellions moving in here. Marauders slowing one of them down, but trying to line up those SCVs for some of that blue fire. But here comes some Marines and Marauders. They're going to clean up the rest of these Hellions. Not too much is going to fall, but Dayshi does get the information necessary to see what type of composition Brad OK is going to bring with this second engagement.
That's right, and even making the SCVs pull like that, he would have definitely made his money's worth with those Hellions. I mean, like just having all of them off for just a few seconds, it's like hundreds and hundreds of minerals.
That mining time, man.
That's
and now the flight of the Valkyries is going to be playing in all of the intercoms for Dayshi's forces. So many Hellions out to the forefront. Not only do they have that powerful flame attack, but they can also block the Marauders from getting to the tanks. And the spread of Brad OK is going to be not too bad here. He does have a good amount of Marauders, and with Stim, they could prove to be a bit devastating, but with the tank sieged up here, it's definitely in the favor of Dayshi.
That's right, and if Dayshi can get a really good position on that third base, perhaps from the top, or even from the middle here, he can really just shut it down. And it looks like it's going to be an air war here.
Yeah. Air war engagement, but with the Raven, the point defense drone able to get those rockets in the air, that is huge for Dayshi, but still he has to watch out for the Marauder ball of death that's happening. Now, if he gets a little bit too cocky here and pushes too far too fast and has too much of a spread of his mech, these Marauders can get the surround, and that's possibly what we could see here.
I think
as Brad OK is going to push to the base.
Sort of a base trade.
Yeah.
He's going to just run in and try and do what he can, but I think there should be enough tanks at home by now to kind of deal with a lot of them. So that is a lot of Marauders.
Oh, there's one way to find out. One of the Widow Mines is there, ready to get a big kill on a couple of those injured Marauders. But now the Hellions moving in against the Marauders and the Marines to the front of the base. But enough Banshees are going to be proving to be a little bit too difficult here, as hopefully enough Vikings will take them out.
Yeah, that's actually a great tech switch by Brad OK going into Banshee and winning that air war with Vikings. Yeah. And he'll eventually kill these tanks, which is going to be huge, but these tanks are going to do a lot of damage.
They're going to do a significant amount of damage, and now the SCV's being pulled to go for either the repair or to get no, they're getting away from the top base that was destroyed by the Marauder ball. And now the Marines and Marauders are doing some significant damage to those tanks. Now the tanks are going to fall back to the base. The expansion, the natural expansion of Dayshi. No, they're going to actually stay in one position while the Marines, or the Vikings rather, try to go against the remaining Vikings against his point defense drones. But the point defense drones,
it's just not enough.
It's not enough. They can't fight back. They only take down the missiles, and
right.
once their manna's gone, it's over.
Brad OK is in a fantastic position after this, taking out that third base, retaining his bases, losing no command centers, maybe a lot of SCVs, but he has 4 command centers right now, and as you can see, it's a lot of mules.
Well, going for that bio play along with the upgrades really started to pay off once he had the kind of like the terminal velocity necessary of production to get enough of those Marauders out there.
And that air switch was just the winner, to be honest.
Yeah. Trade them over from making them the medevacs to making those Banshees, and now one Marauder is going to be harassing a bit of Dayshi's third base here, but now look at all of the mech trying to come out from Dayshi to stop these Marauders. I don't know if it's going to be enough, especially the Banshees pushing in here.
Well, they have even in Viking count. Oh, but that mine takes out one of those Vikings of Brad OK's instantly, so he cannot win that air war anymore.
I think a couple more Winnow Wines just to the front of here.
They can be very useful, especially against the bio composition. I mean, they
have going to be grouped up.
They have nothing that outranges them either, so they're always going to have to take a hit.
Yeah, and even that grouping up, you're forcing the medevacs to use their energy. A Thor coming out here.
That's a very good anti-Banshee. They do extra damage against Banshees, so it only takes a few shots to deal with them.
Now, I wonder if he's going to go for the target fire mode. Do they still have the target fire mode for the Thors or the spread fire mode? I don't know if they've changed that in the latest patch.
That's a good question.
I've been all over the place with esports lately, so StarCraft,
Well, they have like a heavy barrage mode, which is, I think does extra damage to like big units.
To single units, and then
Yeah.
they'd have the spread where it does damage
That's right.
across the board, kind of small AoE effect.
Terran, man. Terran's very.
You know, David Kim, he
difficult.
likes to change stuff up, so it keeps us on our toes. Hellions now taking out the SCVs, and one more pass could take out just about all of them here.
That is a lot of damage.
It's a lot of workers killed.
And there's nothing really to kill them off, so they could just sit behind that mineral line. But looks like he's going to push through the tanks here, and he's going to have enough to at least push the tanks back and sort of disable that mining for a long time.
SCV's on the run along with the mules. Now the tanks are able to hold the line against the Marauders, and that one Thor, this damage output, is it's not another siege tank, but it's got that continual fire, and that fire is necessary to be a big thorn in the side of your opponent here, especially against another Terran.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And looks like Brad OK is going to be falling back, but he's got the map control now compared to what Dayshi had at the beginning of the
That's right,
of the
he's
map
up
here.
one base. He's got 4 bases now, using that 4th command center. But these Hellions are doing so much damage, so much harassment.
And now those Marauders are been a tissy fit, saying, "Get away from my SCVs, bro."
Oh my goodness, 72.
72.
You don't normally see that many workers get
No.
killed in any game.
No, indeed.
That is
especially in a
impressive.
TVT. Those Hellions proving to be quite fruitful here.
And he's down
for
30
Dayshi.
supply now, so you know it's really showing now that how much damage he's actually taking.
And look at the income for Dayshi right now. 1,000 minerals in the bank right now. About 700, almost 800 for Brad OK. So it's starting to even out here. But the gas is so much higher in the bank.
It's
Brad
basically
OK.
because he's been massing bio this whole game, and it's just so
Yeah.
it just doesn't cost any gas at all, really.
Yeah.
So it's building up. He could make a really good tech switch, perhaps to or maybe air again. I mean, there's a lot of air to deal with.
Fly to the Valkyries with the Vikings here, but with that point, or that Hunter Seeker missile actually lost the range of that one Viking. And so now the tanks are going to siege up here. Marauders are going to fall back, and the Medivacs are going to get annihilated by the Vikings. Ravens are going to fall back in here in line to get in the front, but I don't think they have enough. Yes, they do have enough mana for a couple of the Hunter Seeker missiles, and they were able to take down
Good
2
micro,
Vikings.
good
Very good
micro.
micro.
And yeah, his army is just unstoppable right now. Brad OK just doesn't have enough bio to really deal with that, and he does not have any air present whatsoever, which is a very big problem. No medivacs to heal these bio.
No, SCV is taking so much damage here. This could be the beginning of the end here for Brad OK. Dayshi is in a good spot, but this is the last stand for Brad OK. He's going to stim in with all these Marauders and the Marines, trying to take down all the tanks. A good spread of the tanks, so the Vikings are not going to land and try to do anything. Thor goes down, and it looks like this Bioforce proved to be quite effective for most of the mech, but not enough as the Vikings finally land and deal out a little bit more DPM against the Braddock forces, Brad OK forces here. Now
That's
they're
right.
trying to hold the line against a couple more Marauders, man, but these Vikings just get chewed up by those Marauder missiles.
50 pop versus 140 population. It's not looking too good. Not looking
No.
too good for our Russian friend here.
No. Dayshi, almost call him Dicey, hashtag Dicey. Shout out to Mr. Bitter in Rotterdam. They love to say that in their commentating. Also Creetorp, something we have over at the Hero Level Productions facility, man, and all the different commentary we do. But anyways, more mules coming down from Brad. He's not out yet.
He doesn't want to give up just yet. He wants to drag it out a little bit longer, because what's TVT without a really long game?
That's right. Marauders and Marines going back and forth against these tanks. Hellions trying to move in here, but sticking and moving against the Marauders. And there's the GG. Dayshi takes game number 1.